my name is Shield Sniper 084, back with another broadcast of World of Warships Legends, and today we're going to be looking at the Brandenburg Campaign along with any updates and the Battleship Roma. I have her in the Littorio Azulane camo. Battleship Roma was the third of the Littorio class of Italian battleships. The first two being Littorio, later renamed to Italia after Italy's surrender in 1943. And then you have Vittorio Veneto, which is actually the new Tier 7 Italian battleship. So let's get into the stats, armor, and overview. So for starters, you have 65,400, armor ranging between 13 to 380 millimeters, and you have a 38% torpedo damage reduction. Her main battery consists of 381 50 Odo 1934 main guns. So she basically has 15-inch guns. Her firing range is 17.1. Her reload time is 30 seconds. Her secondaries are 90 millimeters, 50 OTO 1939s, 12 times 1. Her firing range is 6 kilometers. Her reload time, the reload time is 3.2 seconds. Maximum HE shell damage 1300 with a 5% fire chance. And she also has 3100 in damage for her AP shell damage for her secondaries as well. Her AA defense is alright, I guess. 20 millimeter 65 Beretta 1935, so her maximum speed is 30.9, her turn radius is 810, and her rudder shift time is 16.3, and her detectability range by sea 14.5, by air is 12.2, and then you have your smoke penalty. Overview. Armor. Whoops. Her bow planing consists of 32 millimeters of bow armor, so she is able to ricochet 16-inch guns. Side armor is 161 to 399, and then you have your superstructure, which doesn't have a lot of armor, so she's able to get hit in her superstructure a lot more. Let's go ahead. Unlike the Italian battleships, she does not have turtleback armor, but she does have a good layer of armor covering her citadel, sort of. And that's for the casemates. Now her citadel, she does have a raised citadel, so you do not want to go broadside in her, because you will be punished. The best thing about the Roma is, let me highlight it here, is that normal battleships for this time period, Bismarck, the South Dakotas, North Carolinas, and the Iowas all had twin rudders. Roma does not. Roma, and I guess every ship except for the Imperio of the Littorio class battleships had three rudders. So she can turn really, really quick. I could be wrong on this. Her turn radius is on par with that of the South Dakotas, but yep. Okay, ironclad. Above average armor thickness, greater resistance to all forms of armor penetration. That, if you're angled, yes. Okay, tough. Above average base HP rating. And then Roma. First thing off the bat, Vittorio Veneto was the second battleship of the line. She wasn't the first, but she was the second. A Vittorio Veneto class battleship, she carried a pretty powerful main battery guns for a ship of her size, was protected by reliable side armor, and had a good torpedo protection. However, the ship did not have good AA capabilities for efficiency to effectively counteract airstrikes. Entered service 1942. Ships in a series 4. The 4 being Littorio, Vittorio Veneto, Roma, and Imperio. This ship honestly is one of my favorites. If you missed out on the Roma campaign, you can get her in the store for 750,000 global XP. So during the surrender of Italy on September 3rd, 1943, while en route to Malta, Roma was hit by 2 Fritz guided bombs. The first one penetrating just aft, going all the way down to the very bottom, punching a hole and then exploding. And that actually damaged one of her engine rooms. Now the second one actually penetrated around the center, around the number 2 turret. And it punched all the way down to where her magazines are. And when that exploded, it built up so much pressure that her number 2 turret, not the barbette, but the turret, was launched straight out of the ship into the air. Roma quickly rolled over, capsized. I think she broke in half. I'm not 100% sure. Could somebody check on that for me? Okay, so let's get to her. Well, I will say this before we get to her commander. Her torpedo protection during her construction, she had these gigantic, I think they were like oil drums, and then I think followed by that, I think it was like concrete. So she had a unique torpedo protection, but that doesn't make her any less of a fun ship. Her loading the main guns is actually unique as well. They used a lot of hoists and lifts. So, and it's interesting, you have shell in the powder bags all on one elevator. So it's like the elevator went, got the shell, went up one, got the bags, went up another one, got the remaining bags, and then went up to whichever particular gun, because each gun was could independently be fired. And you load the shell, go up, bags, and then send the hoist back down and do the process all over again. Okay, her commander, we have Littorio, rank 15, legendary 1. I have, so her base trait is Rosa Barmento, reduce repair time of incapacitated modules, as well as duration of fires and floodings on your battleship. I have a good day's work, crisscross, marksmanship, and reaching out XXL with will to rebuild. I am Littorio, Vittorio Veneto class battleship number 2. Meaning she was the second one built. She was the second Littorio class battleship built. So, instead of it being a Vittorio Veneto class battleship, it should say Littorio class battleship. But that's besides the point. I am Littorio, Vittorio Veneto class battleship number 2. Crap, I can't talk. the Mediterranean's mightiest battleship during the war. I strutted about the ocean as if it was my garden, and that shall not change even now. Now let us strike fears into the hearts of our enemy's commander. Despite the claim to be the most powerful battleship in the Mediterranean, seeming the least debatable, Littorio tries hard to make her words count. She is experienced and rugged, and she fights to the end regardless of what the battle throws at her. She is the first dispersion-purposed Italian battleship commander. And to help me with that, I have Andrew Cunningham and Robert Joudard. Alright, now on to the Brandenburg Campaign. So, this campaign is 100 levels long. Yay. Actually, so that one was 50, I'm at 33. I would need, okay. Yeah, it's 100 levels long. There we go. Okay, so Brandenburg. The ship is named after the Brandenburg Gate, which is in Berlin. So she's basically a, most people want to say that she's a Bismarck or Tirpitz. She's basically a Bismarck, but with Odin guns, which means she has 305 millimeter main batteries. So if you do get this ship, do not expect to get a lot of damage out of it, unless you have the right build. I mean, from videos that I've seen, she's more of a secondary build. So you get high explosive, armor piercing, and torpedoes. Yes, she does have torpedoes. You get a unlimited damage control. You get 3 repair parties, and you can have either 4 catapult fighters, 4 spotter planes, or 3 enhanced secondary targeting, which buffs your secondaries like mad. Her stats, 59,700. Armor, 19 to 360. Okay. Torpedo damage reduction, 23. 17.1 on the main batteries. 26-second reload. Yeah, it's mostly... Yeah, it's just mostly meant for secondaries. Torpedoes. 553 Verling, 2 times 4. Reload, 90 seconds. Ouch. 180 turn time. 7 seconds, basically. Torpedo range, 6 kilometers. Torpedo speed, 64 knots. Anti-aircraft, 30 millimeter flak 38s, 18 times 4. So, I would say if you're playing carrier, be mindful. And she's actually a bit faster than the Roma by 2 knots. Her turning circle radius is 820, and her rudder shift time is 15.7. So I guess that makes her quite a bit, just a bit more on the rudder. And then you have your detectability by sea, air, and yeah. Okay, so she has on the bow and stern, she has 32, but it's interesting because she also has 34 to 75 inches of armor. Main armor belt, 161 to 399. Actually, and she does have a turtleback armor as she is German. Her citadel is just slightly above the water, but I do believe she is susceptible to plunging fire. Overview. Ironclad. Above average armor thickness, greater resistance to all form of armor penetration. Guns aplenty. A high number of guns allows for a lot of damage from a single salvo. Modest guns. This ship is armed with low caliber main battery guns. Yes, she is. A battleship design that was close to the Bismarck class, that is correct, but carried a different main battery that consisted of 12 305mm guns that were developed in Germany in the late 1930s. Year of design, 1945. So, while this ship was not built, I feel like she probably would have made a great addition to the Kriegsmarine. Sort of. But by 1945, Germany had basically had no fuel, no oil, no rubber, metal. Germany was basically on the verge of defeat. So ranked is back. It is, I do believe it's for tier 4. Either that or it's 1v1. That, and I think it's 1v1. Also, Azure Lane has returned. Yes, Azure Lane 3. So if you want to, and this is interesting, if you want to get the commanders, there, one is 5,000 doubloons, but it's interesting because they decided to do this. I don't think they did it with the last one, but they're doing it with this one. You can get the, and this one's for Azuma because I already have the Roma. You can get the Azure Lane permanent skin for Azuma and Shukaku. But on top of that, you also get the flag that comes with, well, that represents each of the Azure Lane. Now this is going to end in 22 days. So, May 6th. Ouch. So, if you don't want to go ahead and get any, so if you don't want to get Azuma, Yukazi, Aurora, which is for the Aurora, Montpellier, or Shukaku, you can always go and get your luck with the crates, because what they're doing is with the Azure Lane crates, they're making it to where you get each commander instead of like a duplicate. So, with that in mind, you also have, you can also go, and the Italian battleships are in early access. So if you want to try and get from tier 3 to 6, here are big Italian battleship crates, and these are also, I do believe, on sale. So I have Julius Caesar. She's a great ship. She can definitely outrun a Texas any day, but that's a bit besides the point. And also the Year of the Tiger. If you want the Haiyang, that ship is also up for grabs. And then you got the 2 camos for both ships. And then you have Liang, which is basically a Chinese Vincent class destroyer. So, Southern and Eastern Dragon are back in the store if you want to pick them up. For the bundle that they're asking, that's not bad. I already have the flag because they decided to give it away by having you redeem some codes. So, and yeah. I understand this isn't a long review, but I'm gonna go and show you all the Italians, by the way. So, tier 3 to tier 7, you have the D. Alhiri, which is basically a powder keg. Look at the main battery arrangement for the ship. There is the Caviar, which I love how they kind of copied the Julius Caesar on the bow and aft turrets. I like that. And then you have the Andrea Doria. And no, I'm not talking about the Italian cruise ship. So, from what I know, each of these ships have the semi-armor piercing rounds for their secondaries. And their secondaries are actually pretty mean. And then up from that, you have the F. Carcilio. which this I do believe was named after Spain's fascist dictator because of the Spanish Civil War. And then last but not least, you have Roma's sister. Yes, this is the sister ship to Roma, the Vittorio Veneto. Each ship going, I do believe, from tier 5 to tier 7 will have a exhaust smoke generator, which will be good. I'm gonna try to do a bit more in depth on Roma and Vittorio Veneto once the Vittorio comes, because I mean it's doing a little preview. I'm not really gonna go over any of the stats or armor because it's basically the tech tree version of the Roma through and through. Only so with the Vittorio Veneto, she's agile, above average ability to change directions, which I mean Roma can be too, and that's because of the side wing rudders that both ships have, and so that kind of gives it a bit of an advantage. I'm not 100% sure on how common that was. Nimble aim, above average main battery traverse speed, gives an edge in close quarters combat. Yes, again, due to the reload method of both the Vittorio Veneto and Roma, they both can have a quick reload time, basically, because everything is like, you know, it's not like you're sending up the shell to up along circular gun hoist. You're not doing that. You're actually combining the shell with the powder bags, which, I mean, that quickens the reload time, I guess. Exhaust smoke generator can dispense a smoke screen and stay hidden in it at full speed. Oof. See, I'm curious now. Unfortunately, I was unable to get Andrea Doria or Carlisio, and I definitely don't have Vittorio Veneto. But once I do get them, I mean, I'm actually curious. Vittorio Veneto, a series of new generation Italian battleships. They stood out as having good anti-torpedo protection, and at the time of their entry into service, for being among the fastest battleships in the world. I mean, they can be. I mean, she's going 27 knots. Roma, I believe, is 30.9. So, Roma is basically 4 knots. No. 3 knots faster? 3.5 knots faster? I mean, I'm not gonna do like. Maybe I will. Yeah, I'm gonna do AI, cause I don't I don't feel like getting obliterated. So Roma is 3 knots faster than Vittorio Veneto. Now that depends, because I actually had a booster flag on there. So yeah, she's still 3 knots. I mean, she's a good ship through and through. If you do not have Roma, I would recommend picking her up, because by the next update, they should be bringing in a premium version of the Zara, and Vittorio Veneto will be available for research, I do believe, in the next update. Islands of Ice. Okay. This is so. Also in the update, there are new maps. This is absolutely beautiful. I absolutely love this one. And then you got one that has the Aurora Borealis. I do have the Azure Lane voiceover on. So how it goes, so it goes straight from 30 seconds, and it experienced a little bit of lag. Yeah, I mean, you know, these guns are not 100% like OP, but I mean, if you hit correctly on a battleship, I don't think I'm gonna be able to on this. Check her first. I think probably 1 or 2 shells went over the island. Yep, got 3,000 off of them. These definitely can work well on cruisers. For example, you have Charles Martel, Conqueror. And I'm spotted by lightning. Shoot her first. So we're gonna go after the Charles Martel, because this is AI. I do apologize for the lag. I don't understand why I'm having lag. The anti-aircraft guns on this ship are actually not that bad. So we're gonna go. Also, like I said, you don't want to go. You don't want to go broadside, because here we take a shot out, and for that we get 1 Citadel, 18,000, and doing a little peek shot at Charles Martel, who isn't well armored, but it's not bad either. Now, she has a Now, her secondaries are actually kind of unique. She has some cruiser guns, so she's able to fire AP as well as HE, or high explosive. Fletcher takes out the Grover Kerr first. So, I mean, you know, again, these guns are not like 406 millimeters or 16 inches. But I mean, that should have been the death of him. But, yeah, I mean, that was Roma. Her reload time is 30 seconds. And that's because of how the ship's, ship's ammo handling was done. It was all unique. Had Roma not taken the Fritz guide bomb, both of them I should add, I feel like she probably would have been made into a museum or sold for scrap, because the Tirio Veneto, I do believe, was handed over to the US as a war trophy. This has been my little review. I'll go into an in-depth review on Roma at a later date.